Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I cordially invite you all to the 738th meeting of the Chennai Toastmasters Club. I'm Abhirami Ayappan and I'm the Sergeant at Arms for this meeting. The mission of every Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which the members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before we jump into today's meeting, let me quickly brief you on the 4 ground rules to be followed. Firstly, please put your mobile phones on silent. Kindly remain on mute unless it's your turn to speak. Do not talk on taboo topics such as politics, religion, or sex. Lastly, if you have any message to be passed on to the rest of the group, please use the chat box right below. Without any further ado, let me call upon the presiding officer to take the meeting forward. He is a senior Toastmaster who's associated with our club since 2011 and is presently working with Sundaram Clayton Limited as assistant manager. Let's put our hands together to welcome the president of our club, Toastmaster Guruvayurappan. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you to Sergeant at Arms for a wonderful intro. First, I declare 738th meeting of Chennai Toastmasters Club open. So it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming CTM Richard Hopkins for conducting an education session today. Welcome to you, Chennai Toastmasters Club, sir. On behalf of Chennai Toastmasters Club ESCOM and its members. Now, coming to mentoring is a part of Toastmasters which helps an individual to develop a individual's leadership skills and communication skills. How? Whenever a new member joins Toastmasters, he or she will be given a choice to select a mentor who will be assisting him or her in improving her communication and leadership skills. Not only communication and leadership skills, but also writing skills. Because every time when a mentee has to give a speech, he or she has to write a script and send it to his or her mentor, who will read the script and make necessary changes, thereby giving a chance to improving the writing skills of a mentor also. So there should be some sort of cordial and as well as some sort of strict relationship between mentor and mentee. Then only it will allow both of them to grow as leader and as a communicator. Without much ado, on this note, I hand over the control to the present MC of today's meeting, who is a fashion designer by profession and MC by passion, Toastmaster of the day, Aishwarya. Aishwarya, handing over the control to you. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, presiding officer. I would like to start with a small quote. Every day is a new day and a new opportunity to make it happen and make it matter. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and a special good evening to CTM Rich Hopkins. I welcome you all to a 738th meet of Chennai Toastmasters Club. Let me tell a small story behind this. A couple of days back, I was in a dilemma. I was about to lose my patience as I had a lot of work to do. If I share that work list with you, trust me, that list is very, very long. Until my dad came to me and said, whatever you do, everything starts with a single step. Finish the tasks one by one, and then the stress which you have, it will be relieved. So as I was pondering on to select the theme for the meeting, and hence came this theme, make it happen, make it matter. As I reflect on your current life, ask yourself, is there something missing? Do you strive for more, yet lack the motivation and confidence to step outside of your comfort zone? If you don't know how to jumpstart your motivation, focus on your inner self for a moment. Ask yourself, what is it that's holding you back? Is it the fear or is it the lack of self-confidence? Regardless of who you are and what you're doing and what is stopping you from achieving more, one thing is certain. Whatever task or goal that you do, everything starts from you. As you shift your current state of mind, understanding that you are in the driver's seat, you'll realize that anything and everything is possible. Moving on, let me brief upon on how every Toastmaster meeting works. Firstly, we'll be having a prepared speech session, followed by which we'll be having a table topic session. Thirdly, we're going to have a special education session by our very own DTM Rich Hopkins. And lastly, we're going to have the evaluation session. Before we could jump on to the main session, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Satish Babu and Toastmaster Kritika to conduct an interesting and an amazing gaming session in the name of Know the Champions. Toastmaster Kritika and Toastmaster Satish Babu, the stage is yours.
Shall we start?
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. Today we are going to have a very interesting game session. I believe and I hope every passionate Toastmaster, definitely they will like this game. This game, we will share that topic of the speech. It is only for a world champion speeches alone, not for every Toastmaster, only for the world championship speech title alone. So here we will show the speech title. You should identify who as the speaker of the world championship, right? So here are the rules and regulation. It is not open to everyone. Who is ready to answer the question, please raise your hand from that group, because in after the game we will give for a winner certificate also. So it is not open for everyone, and timing it is for only 20 seconds. So please note that everybody should not answer the question, otherwise this question will be disqualified. Okay, shall we start now? Is there any question?
Start.
Hello? Yeah.
No. We should start.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 1. Kritika, please.
Still standing. Still standing. Please tell me whose speech title is this?
Anybody?
Can I attempt?
Yeah, sure.
Your good name?
Puneet here, you forgotten me, same member of your club.
Yeah, Puneet.
Yeah. Definitely not the Ramona Smith. It's Ramona Smith, the boxing she gave. It's Ramona Smith.
You're
No.
right. It's Ramona J. Smith, 2018 World Champion of Public Speaking.
Congratulations, Puneet. And second question. Time start now.
Can I attempt again? No? Or I'll
No. Same person should not attend first. One more question.
Shall I? Dharani.
Yeah, sure. Tell me, Dharani.
I guess it is some Manoj Vasudevan, if I'm not wrong.
Exactly.
Right answer. Manoj Vasudevan, 2017 World Champion of Public Speaking.
Good. Excellent, Dharani.
Thank you.
Third.
Trust is a must.
Time start now.
Anybody?
I know.
Yes, please.
Ryan Avere. If I'm not sure about the pronunciation, like RyanAvery.
Yeah, right answer. Ryan Averi, 2012 World Champion of Public Speaking. I see something in you.
Dhananjaya Hetriarchi, 2014 World Champion of Public Speaking.
Right, sir.
Excellent, sir.
And unbelievable story.
An unbelievable story.
Shall I? Or
Yes, sure.
Aaron. I don't know his second name. Like I remember Aaron. Aaron.
You're right. Aaron Beverly, 2019 World Champion of Public Speaking.
Okay.
Great. A second chance.
Can I attempt again?
Anybody?
Puneet, please.
Second chance. Mark Brown, is it?
No. 1995 World Champion of Public Speaking.
Super, Puneet. Next.
Speak up.
Can I attempt again? But he's not world champion of public speaking, I think.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, you can
Kevin
attempt. Sorry?
Kevin Stamper. Is it?
Right. It's 2017, third place. Shall I go to the next?
We are running out of time.
I think Puneet has seen this before.
Yeah.
First impressions.
Satish
Anybody?
Any clues?
First impressions. Shall I show you the answer?
See, Kritika, can you give a clue regarding which?
Yeah, something like that.
Satish, can you please give the clue?
It's a speech by a world champion.
All are like that only. No.
That we know.
Okay, tell the year to them if you want.
This is for, no, I'm not sure, but one second.
Is it DTM Aditya Maheshwar?
No, it's not DTM Aditya Maheshwar.
Any
Shall I
year,
tell you the answer?
year alone. At least the year. Oh.
Luisa Montalvo, 2019, second place. Going to the next one.
What?
What James Bullitt taught me.
The clue is 2017 second place. World champion 2017 second place.
Second place.
He's from England. That's what I know, but I'm not able to recollect his name. He even came for DNA conference also. I'm remembering everything except from his name.
Simon Bucknell.
Simon.
Yeah, right answer.
Right. Who's that?
Simon Bucknell. Yeah, you're right. May I know who gave this answer?
Nadira.
Oh, hi. I couldn't recognize your voice. Okay, next question. Scratch.
DTM
Aditya
Aditya Maheshwaran.
Our very own club member, DTM Aditya Maheshwaran. Right answer. 2015 World Championship, second place. Next. Never too late.
Clue is 2003 world champion.
Can I try? Jim Key.
Sure.
Jim Key, right?
Right.
Yeah, right answer. Jim Key, 2003 World Champion. Ouch. That hurt.
Clue is 2001
can I-
world champion.
I think I'm taking other people's chance, but still, can I attempt? No?
Sure, tell me.
Okay, Darren LaCroix.
Yeah.
That's right, 2001 World Champion. Next.
Terry Sue.
Sorry?
Terry Sue.
First name?
Right.
Yeah.
2018 second place.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you to Toastmaster. The reason we have conducted this game is all the Toastmaster speech is a keynotes and takeaway for us. But especially for the world champion speech, it's a really keynote for everyone else. Next month we are going to have a humorous speech. I request you to watch every world champion speeches to take a keynote from every Toastmaster. That's the agenda for this game. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kritika and Toastmaster Satish Babu. What an interesting game it was. Trust me, I really loved it. Now, moving on, I'd like to call upon our general evaluator, who's a presiding officer as well, Toastmaster Guruvayurappan, to brief his roles and responsibilities as his general evaluator.
Sorry. Okay. Today's general evaluator, as a general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the meetings right from the start, beginning of the meeting till the end of the meeting. I have two set of teams to celebrate, to evaluate today's meeting. So first set of evaluators I will introduce you later. Now I will introduce the second set of evaluators called tag team, timer, counter, and grammarian team. Today's timer role is played by Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana Satyanarayana. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, please explain your role for the benefit of audience.
Thank you, Guru Ayappan. Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of timer is to observe and record the time, the table topics, the prepared speech, and the evaluation speaker takes time. To have an efficient meeting, we must control both the duration of speaker's time and the session. So hence, we need to follow strict timings. So I will also alert each speaker of the time they are left using the green, yellow, and red timer card, which is basically a PPT which will share the screen at the time you come to the time. For example, if a prepared speech is between 5 to 7 minutes in time, at 5 minutes I will raise the green card, and at 6 minutes I will raise the yellow card, and at 7th minute I will show the red card. And a grace period of 30 seconds will be allowed to be qualified for the meeting. At the end of this session, I will give the report to the general evaluator. Over to the Guru.
Thank you, Lakshmi Narayana. Now I introduce our counter Toastmaster. Forgot his name. Surendran. Toastmaster Surendran from Coimbatore. Toastmaster Surendran, please explain your role for the benefit of audience.
Hello, I'm Sundaresan here.
Sundaresan, sorry.
Yeah, so in the last minute, the role got swapped because my screen was not shareable. So I have taken now the role of our counter. So I understand that I have to count the number of times people say an extra or any other such word for all the people who are playing the role, some role, and then I also have to do the same for the prepared speakers, table topic speakers, and also the evaluators. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Tom Sundaresan. Now I request a grammarian to our English teacher of the club, Madam Toastmaster Rekha, to brief her role and responsibilities of her role. So,
yeah.
Please kindly explain your.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Guruvayurappan. My name is Rekha, and I am the grammarian of today's meeting. Before that, good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests. So myself as a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers and listen carefully to their language usage. And my responsibility extends in noting down all the good usages and not so good usages, and provide suggestions on how it can be used in a better way. And the theme of the day, let me introduce you to the theme of the day. So today's theme of the day is make it happen and make it matter, as mentioned by our Toastmaster of the day. And word of the day is whimsical, which means funny, weird. And a sample sentence to use whimsical is, the story about the girl was whimsical. I would like to remind you, the word of the day is whimsical, funny, or weird. And a sample example is like, the story about the girl was whimsical. I recommend you to use the theme of the day and word of the day wherever it's appropriate. And I will also take a note of the usage of the theme of the day and word of the day. With this, I hand over the back to Toastmaster Guruvayurappan. Thank you.
Thank you, Rekha, for your brief explanation of about your role. And I will submit my report at the end of the meeting when Toastmaster of the day asked me to present the report. So now I am handing over control back to Toastmaster of the day, Aishwarya. Aishwarya, please, stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guruvayurappan, for briefing upon your roles and responsibilities. Put yourself out there and make things happen. Things that truly matter. We all tend to love giving excuses, and it's easier to blame others or our own circumstances instead of taking responsibilities. As you become more motivated, you will feel that you are unleashing your true inner potential, and you will see that you're becoming a better version of yourself. We are all unique in our own way. So ask yourself, what is it that makes you motivated? What is it that makes you optimistic? And find the reason for your true potential. Now let's move on to the prepared speech session. And today we're going to have two prepared speeches. Let me welcome our first speaker, Toastmaster Venu. To say a few words about him, he is a senior member of this club working at airport authorities. And before calling him up, I like Toastmaster Jagadish, who's his evaluator, to brief upon the objectives of his speech.
Good evening, one and all. Toastmaster Venu is attempting his icebreaker speech. The objective of speech is to begin speaking before an audience, to discover speaking skills he already have and skills that need some attention. Timer, please note, time is 4 to 6 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Venu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagadish. Now let's welcome our first speaker, Toastmaster Venu. Survive to fit to survive.
Thank you.
Survive to fit to survive, Toastmaster Venu.
Good evening, one and all. I'm Venu Neelakantan. Exactly at the place where India ends, my life started. I was born and brought up in Nagarkoil, and I studied at a government higher secondary school, Valankumbaranmille, and very ordinary corporation school. But now the school is very famous, not because I studied there, just because Dr. Sivan, the ISRO chairman, studied there. If my guess is right, most of you might have started learning English at the age of 3 at your pre-KG, but I'll start learning the English alphabet at the age of 8, at my 3rd standard. Because during those periods, English was a subject right from the 3rd standard only. Even I learned to write my name in English at my 4th standard, even though my name has only 4 letters, V, E, and U. So no wonder why my English was below poverty line. During my 12th vacation, my uncle wanted me to enroll on a computer course. He took me to nearby an IT center. But I was not interested. But the moment I entered the computer center, I decided to do a course there, not because of the infrastructure, not because of the lab facility, just because of the beautiful receptionist. Such a seraphic beauty. In a blue silver, picking her hair, looked like an angel. My uncle inquired about the course and got into conversation with her, but I was hopelessly watching their faces because they were interacting in the foreign language, English. After a moment, the girl handed over an application to my uncle and turned to me and asked many questions in English. Fortunately, there was no counter. Because what you are calling the fillers, the crutch words were helping words for me. I was simply responding, yeah, really? Mm-hmm. I think that made her lose her patience. In a fit of anger, she asked me whether your tongue has been eaten by a cat. Open your mouth. What a humiliation. Had it been an auntie or grandma, I would not have minded, but she was such a beautiful girl. She looked me down simply because I could not interact with the so-called lingua franca. So I shouted back with my English. Mr. Grammarian, had you been there, your job would be so tough. Not to find which is correct usage, which is not so correct usage, to find which is a word, which is a sentence in my English. The poor girl, she was well versed in British English, she was well versed in Indian English, she was well versed even in American English. Unfortunately, she was not aware of my English. But that whimsical incident made me to realize the importance of English language. So after 12th, I opted for English literature. I joined Hindu college. Just imagine, at that time I did not understand even idiot's English, but I had to study Eliot's English. So throughout the 3 years, I remained just a wall among the four walls. Somehow I managed to pass without any arrear. But I secured only 48.6%, which is a third class. When I applied for the MA post-graduation, they said, you are not fit. So without any option, I tried for job. With my 48.6%, with my broken English, I attended the first interview. They said, you are not fit. The same reply I had been getting for the next 32 interviews. Even after attending 33 interviews, I remained fit for anything. Wherever I go, they said, you are not fit. My family members said, you are not fit. My friends said, you are not fit. I asked myself this question, am I really not fit for anything? Then my mind with self-confidence told me, man, that's others' opinion. You can do it. Then I did a SWOT analysis and I realized that I had two weaknesses. One is English language, another is my graduation mark. Somehow I appeared and I enrolled for the MBA course in HR. And I completed MBA. I gradually improved my English language. Once I rectified this, my weaknesses, I started getting job offer from many organizations. So far I have worked 7 organizations, including Speak Limited, TVS also. And I reached a position where it was me, I reject many offers from good organizations like Indian Express, Caterpillar. In 2008, I got 2 offers from central government. One is from Central Board of Directors, another one is from Airports Authority of India. I rejected a central government offer. I joined Airports Authority of India. My first job was in Calicut International Airport. Now I have been part of Chennai Airport for the last 12 years. But success is not a destination, it's a journey. In the journey of my learning, I joined CTM. I'm giving my 3rd official icebreaker speech here with a new path. Expecting that I'm going to learn many things from you all. Because my motto of life is survey to fit, so that I can be fit to survive in the survival of fittest environment. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Venu. That was indeed an inspiring speech. Calling upon a second speaker, Toastmaster Cholan. He was a past Vice President of Public Relations, and it is because of him that I'm able to create better and good flyers. So I thank him for all his help and training which he had given me. I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Ranju to brief upon the project objectives.
Good evening, everyone. My speaker Cholan would be presenting today about the project Research and Presentation from his Pathway Motivational Strategies. So his purpose of this speech is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and to present a well-organized, well-researched speech on this topic. Timer, please note, the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Cholan. Over to you.
Toastmaster. Thank you. Toastmaster Cholan. How to rob the world. How to rob the world. Toastmaster Cholan.
Thank you, Ashurya. How to rob the world. I am not picking the title. Some of the genius who try to rob the world by wars, sometimes they succeed, sometimes they don't. But this time, we rob the world by not by killing people, instead by giving loans. Give a man a gun, he can rob the bank. Give a man a bank, he can rob the world. Yes, it's true. Start a bank if you want to rob the world. Before that, you have to understand how banking system works, especially what most of them don't know. I like to share some slides for better understanding of the system. Do you know how bank creates money? By receiving deposits or lending loans? No, by complicating things. This is why banking business is the one of the least understood business, and they use the tactics for more than hundreds of years for creating dead money. 97% of the money in our economy is dead money. Only 3% is real money, or paper money, or printed money, or digital money. Before we know what is meant by dead money, we have to understand what is the banking business model, how banking business model works. Real banking business model is not about receiving deposits and lending loans. It's all about purchasing securities. Securities are nothing but loan agreements. Deposit means bank borrows from us, but they change the name as deposits. This is the interesting part. If you want to buy something, but you don't have money, then don't worry. Take your laptop and just type the numbers, how much you need. It just created into your account. It's awesome. This is how exactly bank creates money from nowhere. They create money by crediting their customers' accounts. Whenever you see the account balance, the numbers, it's just created, it's an entry made by the banks in their computers. It's simple. You believe it or not, they have unlimited money. Whenever they need, they just type the numbers. That's it. Now, what is meant by dead money? If you need a loan to buy a house, you can receive a loan for an exchange of 30 years of your life by signing this agreement. This agreement is called debt money. Whenever bank produce this debt money, like 1 lakh or 1 crore, how much is printed in this document is directly going to a monetary system. Just imagine how much debt money can create every single day by banks. They don't stop here. They make even more from it. Now we receive a loan for an exchange of a mortgage agreement. Now the bank sells this agreement to the investment banks. Then they put all our mortgages and do some magic and turn into a shares. And they sell into the secondary market to the investors. Wow, they just turn our loan agreements into shares. This is very good business model actually, but when the greed enters into the market, everything starts to collapse. This is why 2008 crash happens, because of too much of producing worthless papers. Now, we may hear some of the crashes or downtime in the economy. So many experts say so many things. Actually, we don't understand what they are saying. But the real simple reason is inflation. Suddenly, gold available everywhere. like a sand. Then who cares about gold anymore? No one wants to possess the gold because it's available everywhere. It starts to lose its value. This is what happened when we produce too much of money into a monetary system. See this Zimbabwe $100 trillion note, not 1 trillion, $100 trillion, but you can't even afford a loaf of bread with it. Then what's the point? Okay, can you see me? Now, the question is, can we escape from this system? The answer is no, we can't, because 97% of our economy runs through debt money. Only 3% is real money. You can't compensate with it. Even though you try to settle all the debt with 3%, still you have to pay the 94%. It's impossible to settle the debts. So, if you can try to change something, but if you want to change something, then do nothing. Like it or not, this bubble will burst one day and this matrix will start again. This cycle will never end unless we all understand what is the banking system. தமிழ்ல சொன்னோம்னா ஏமாற வரைக்கும் ஏமாத்துறவன் இருந்துட்டே தான் இருப்பான். Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Choli. That was indeed a thought-provoking speech. Moving on. Just share my screen. So now let's see how to get into your motivational zone. It's quite easy as these 3 steps, which I'm going to share with you. The first step is start small. By changing your perspective and demanding more from yourself won't happen in a single day or overnight. Each and every day you need to take small steps, as each and every small step that you take on a daily basis encourages bigger results and builds your confidence. The second step is to practice visualization. Do you often dream about what you could be? Then why not make those dreams into reality? As visualization encourages a new outlook in life, hence resulting in positive action. The third one is stay true to your authentic self. When you truly let go of the fear that is holding you back, you will develop a true sense of yourself. When life tries to change you into someone else which you're not, try listening to your inner voice. Stay true to your core values, surround yourself with positive people, and try taking the risks. Now, let's quickly move on to the table topic session. For this, I'd like to call upon an interesting and an enthusiastic person who's ready to bombard with you all with questions, and he is Toastmaster Puneet. Toastmaster Puneet, the stage is yours.
Check. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that's the new way of saying good evening or good afternoon or good morning to anyone in today's world. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm the table topic master for today's meeting. The purpose of table topic is for the members and guests to test their impromptu skill. And the beauty of being a table topic master is that I don't get to be the speaker. I'm lucky that I'm not bombarded by topics by my fellow Toastmasters. So in the interest of time, I'll be having 8 table topics. And Toastmaster Aishwarya, the TMOD of the day, made my job much more challenging. When I inquired her what is the theme about, she said it's a surprise. Then I told, okay, challenge accepted, I'll come. When I came to know about the theme, then I realized, okay, I have plenty of topics to bombard the audience. So without any further ado, I have got 8 nominations for all the topic. I'm so grateful to all the speakers and guests who have volunteered. So the first topic goes to Toastmaster Nanda. Toastmaster Nanda, can we have you? Toastmaster Nanda?
Hello, TT Master Puneet. Can you hear me?
Okay, so yes, I can hear you loud and clear. So your topic is, a line is a dot which went for a walk. A line is a dot which went for a walk. Toastmaster Nanda.
Thank you, TT Master. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My topic is line is a dot which went for a walk. I will take this topic in my own terms, which is in life, if you stay in a place and don't move ahead, there is nothing going to change. Whatever may be the situation in your life, if you think that you are not taking any positive step or forward step, and then just think that everything will happen to you just like that, that you are waiting for a luck, you are waiting for your astrology signs to change, you're waiting for a good time, waiting for your colleagues to help, waiting for your parents to help, waiting for your friends to help, nothing is going to change. You need to decide where you want to go in your life and then plot your steps, plot your dots one by one and slowly connect the dots to draw a beautiful line. No one else can help you to move forward. It's you have to take a decision and see what is your path, what is your destination. So this is what I do. I take a piece of paper every now and then and see where I am now right now and where I want to go. With that clarity of the destination, I then jot down the small steps, what to do next, what to do today, what to do this week, what to do this month, etc. So this helps me to channelize my thoughts in a beautiful manner and helps me to attain my goals for this month, this quarter, or this year as info. This is how I connect my small dots in my mind to a thick line and make sure that I'm reaching the destination. Thank you, Toastmaster Puneet, for the great opportunity. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nanda. It's always a great experience listening to you. You always come out with great clarity. I forgot to add this, fellow Toastmasters and guests, just like we have best nominations for the best, we'll be electing the best prepared speaker. We also have for best table topic speaker as well. And please note that when you are voting, kindly note whether the speaker has done justice to the topic. Just remember this one and kindly vote. Thank you, Toastmaster Nanda. It's always a pleasure listening to you. So the next topic goes to a person who nominated, I think, Toastmaster Dharani. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so your topic goes like this. Taking a break can lead through breakthrough. Taking a break can lead through breakthroughs. Toastmaster Dharani.
Wait, I heard taking a break second part?
Can lead through breakthroughs.
Can I have the meaning of the sentence?
Okay, so we see some sports
see,
personality.
What I interpret literally is when you take a break, when you take a break and sit back and think, your future will be like you can work for it, something like that.
That's the best interpretation. Whichever comes into your mind, you can pour your heart into it. So okay. The stage is all yours.
Okay. So good evening to one and all present here. So this is what I interpreted from the topic given to me. When we take from the monotonous life way, if we take a break, if we sit, if we think what we are doing is correct or not, and then if we plan the stuff correctly and if we move forward, then everything will work correctly. So that is what happened when this is like I'm into my first, currently I'm into my second year of college. So this happened as soon as I completed my high school. All of them were pouring their decisions into me. You want to do this, you have to do that. But then I took a break from all of them. I sat and I thought, which is my passion, what I am supposed to do. And that is when I did a research, and that is when I came to know law is what is all about. I love it because I love talking and I love speaking and I love interacting with people. So that is one thing where I took a break and I took this decision where I'm actually proud about it. I'm actually passionate about it. And the second thing is, again, Toastmasters. Like when I did not have anything to do like extracurricular activity because I'm not a sports person or one who sits and like enjoys the movie or something like that. I wanted to interact with people and I want to develop my communication skills. So that is when, again, Toastmasters, none of them told me that this will actually help me. It was always completely through the research, everything I got to know. So again, like Toastmasters is one such thing. So these two things, which I sat back and I researched and took it is really helping me in whichever program I go or when I'm called up to speak. So that is what I always believe. What lies behind us or what lies in front of us is more greater than what lies within us. So let us sit back, rest back, and think what we are going to do. That is when we will take the perfect decision. Thank you. Over to you, table topic speak master.
Lovely take on the topic. By the way, just wanted to clarify, you are a guest or a Toastmaster?
I'm
I
a
think
guest.
I missed it.
I'm a guest. Only.
Okay. Okay. Our vice president membership will get in touch with you with regards to membership. So would love to have you as a member soon. So today is Friendship Day. So I thought this topic fits to this enigmatic, charismatic Toastmaster in our club. A Wonder Woman of our club, I can call it Toastmaster Kritika Raju. Can we have you here? Toastmaster Kritika?
Yes, Toastmaster Puneet.
Okay, awesome. Good friends don't let you do crazy things alone. Good friends don't let you do crazy things alone. Toastmaster Kritika.
I think not just good friends, any friend won't let you do crazy things alone. And I'm very, very, very fortunate to have found amazing friends in Toastmasters. Right from my first meeting in Toastmasters, I found friends for life. And it's been 2 complete years for me. And I believe that one of the most important things about a friend is that you can live without any other relationship in life, be it a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, anybody. But you cannot find one single person in this world who does not have a friend. So that is the value of friendship. And I am very, very, very fortunate to have found amazing friends in Toastmasters here. And I think Toastmasters, the entire fraternity is such that everybody is like a friend, be it any senior member or be it any newcomer. I think that is the connect that Toastmasters brings about. And I think we all do crazy stuff in Toastmasters itself. So I think it's the perfect example that crazy stuff, good friends do not allow you to do crazy stuff without them. So I think Toastmasters is the perfect example for this thing. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster Puneet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kritika Raju. You are reminding me of this one campaign which Airtel launched some time back. Har ek friend zaruri hota hai. Means each and every friend is necessary. Thank you for that lovely take on the topic, Toastmaster Kritika Raju. Next up, we have a Matrix type question. So if you have seen this movie called Matrix, there is this protagonist is offered a red pill and a blue pill and he has to choose between these two. So this is a very simple topic which I'll give it to Nina ma'am, although she told that she wants to be the last speaker, but I thought this topic fits to her perfectly in the middle of our session. So Nina ma'am, can we have you here right now? DTM Nina ma'am?
Yes, I was just turning my audio on. Thank you.
Sorry ma'am, being a mentee, I am going against, you told me to
I was
keep
like,
at the last.
Only if everyone else has a chance, and if you don't have speakers, keep me last.
No, ma'am, you'll always get a chance, ma'am. And I've chosen a difficult topic for you. That's
Oh God.
Okay. So I'm offering a red pill to you.
Okay.
So $10 million red pill, $10 million in your bank account instantly.
Okay.
Blue pill, a blue pill.
Right.
A chance to go 10 years back and rectify your mistake. It's a hypothetical question, but it suits perfectly to you. I'll repeat once again. Red pill, you will have an opportunity to get $10 million in your bank account instantly. Blue pill, a chance to go 10 years back and rectify your mistake. What pill would you choose?
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, $10 million. That's an offer I cannot refuse under any circumstances. Money in the bank, money at hand. What more can anyone ask for? Going back in time, rectifying my mistakes? Been there, done that. If it is a mistake at that time, too bad. I've either repented or paid for it. Going back is not going to help anybody. At the most, it'll help me relive the times where I've been with my crazy friends and had a great time doing various things. I don't think I've done any irreparable harm to anybody at all. So I would say, grab the $10 million, run for my life, do all the things that I couldn't do earlier. Top of my bucket list would probably have been traveling all around the world once upon a time, But now that has to go to the bottom of my bucket list, more onto fantasy and things like that. So a virtual tour of the world. There are a lot of other things. Whimsically, we can say a plan in terms of, okay, what are we going to do after COVID? And right now, everyone is kind of waiting for life after COVID, because life before COVID is like one great big dream that we had. And I think that's one of the reasons why I don't need to go back 10 years in time. 10 years in time would probably bring COVID right back into my backyard and back into the world. So maybe if I can have that $10 million and do something about removing COVID and the after effects, and especially removing lockdown. Either which way, $10 million it is, not one, but as many red pills as you can give us. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Nina ma'am. Once you get $10 million, please feel free to call us, give us a gala party at Marriott or any hotel.
Anywhere,
Don't
anywhere.
forget us. We are
Absolutely.
CTM members. Okay, ma'am. So next up, we have another matrix type question. So it goes to guest Deepak, who has nominated. It's a very simple topic. I would guess, Deepak, can we have you?
Yes, Toastmaster Punit.
Okay, so your topic again, red pill. You get a chance to be in your favorite fictional character's world. Blue pill, your favorite character into your real world. I'll repeat, red pill, you get a chance to be in your favorite character's fictional world. Blue pill, you get to bring your favorite character into real world. Which one would you choose and why?
Oh, that's a tough one. So I usually don't have a fictional character set in mind, but still I would prefer a fictional character to come into my world instead I'm being there, because the fictional is always a fictional which is not realistic. And where here we have a lot of poor people and we have a lot of trouble in the world right now, where in the fictions we just solve all the problems within a minute. So you just want to name it maybe a genie in Aladdin. So we just by a click of a hand, and then the entire a big kingdom rises. But here, by a click of a hand, not even a food will be served. So either we have to work for the food, or either we have to help others, lending our hands to others, and we need to ensure how much caring for others means. So, but without the support of individuals, we cannot survive here. So, and hence, I would like to have the fictional character come to my world and lend a helping hand to everyone, so that we all can stay happy. And then everyone in this world who is very much poor, who is unable to eat a single day meal, and they get a meal and from the fictional character. That would be helpful. Over to you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster.
Thank you, guest Deepak. I must say you have a very big heart, and Genie did brought in a lot of fresh memories when I was there in 90s. Those cartoons, Aladdin and the Lamp. Thank you so much for bringing out profound memories. So the sixth topic we have is as a nomination from the person called Muskan. Can we have you here? Muskan?
Hi, there's no electricity, so I don't know if you guys can see me.
Okay, just one confirmation. Are you a member or a guest?
I'm a member.
Okay, excellent. So Toastmaster Muskan, your topic goes like this. In the end, we only regret the chance we didn't take. In the end, we only regret the chance we didn't take. Toastmaster Muskan.
Okay, thank you for the topic. So I think this is a very apt topic for me right now, because I am considering going for higher studies or not. So the only thought that keeps coming to me is that if I do not take this chance, then I am going to regret this for my entire life. And it might be a little intimidating for me. It might be a little scary to go. So it's like it keeps bugging me down, but like the one thing that keeps me going is that if I do not take this chance, then I might regret it later on, because since I'll be going to another country to study, I will be meeting so many new people, and I will be learning so much more, because the diversity is going to be excellent. The quality is going to be excellent. So right now, since I have that thought in mind, I'm really looking forward to it, and I really think that something good can come out of it. So that's all I want to say for now. Thank you. Over to you.
Wishing you all the best for your future endeavors, and thank you so much for touching on the topic. And next up, we have a nomination from Arvind. Can we have you here, Arvind?
Yes, Punit.
Just
Good evening,
confirmation.
Punit.
You're a guest. Good evening. Are you a guest or a member?
I'm a guest speaker. I've actually given guest speeches in Toastmasters Madurai Club. So this is the first time I'm visiting Toastmasters Chennai.
It's pleasure to have you with us, guest Arvind. And so, topic. By any chance, have you watched the movie Spider-Man?
Yeah, I've watched Tobey Maguire's all those 3 Spider-Man parts, but I haven't watched the new Tom Holland's.
Yeah, it's classic will always remains the best. It's okay. Even I have watched the first 3 by Tobey Maguire. So those are really profound and wonderful. So your topic goes like this: with great power comes great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. Guest Arvind.
Good evening, everyone. With great power comes great responsibility. And this is what Uncle Ben says to Peter Parker when about 2 days before he was about to die. And it's just a simple phrase, but there's a lot of meaning in it. Example, I would state an example here. When I was about to join college about 4 years ago, I didn't have anyone to guide me upon which engineering options or other arts options to choose. So I had no idea, and then I started to. I was not a public person actually. I was very introverted. Then I started to visit more people in with more experience and in their powerful positions from my family. Then I asked to them which one to choose, or how do you lead your life by your own measures. And many of them have uh, neglected me completely, um, but I never gave up. um, I just if you don't have the power, or if you don't have the will to choose the power, it's better to take the measure and take it upon yourself and take control of it. Nobody's gonna give power to yourself. So that's what I did. I took an initiative and I visited around 50 colleges to not in person. I actually called upon some friends and all those to decide for myself. Um, and that's how I decided that with great power comes great responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arvind, for touching on the topic. So last topic which we have is again from a nomination called Guest Nishan. Can we have you here? Guest Nishan. That's a lovely disturbance. Can I, Guest Nishan, can we have you here?
I'm unable to hear you, table topic master.
Check. Can you hear us? I can actually hear you.
Oh, all right.
Can
Yeah,
you hear
I'm
me?
able to hear you. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much. So your topic goes like this: if you never go, you will never know. If you never go, you will never know. Guess Nishan.
All right. Thank you for the wonderful topic, Toastmaster. And a very good evening to everyone and happy Friendship Day. So if I'm not going, I will not know. definitely it makes sense in every part of our life. If I'm not trying out anything and I simply say I don't like it, it definitely doesn't mean anything. Even if you're trying new food, even if you want to go out to a new place, only if you go there and explore, you will be able to figure out what it actually feels. I've seen that. I've done that mistake a lot of times, starting from while I was a small kid and be it in college. For any experience that I have not done, I've always said no. But once time went by, I've started figuring out how much I have missed in my life and how much better it could have been. So the best thing that I've done is go on a solo trip. I've done a backpacking trip. I've done a lot of experience that in my life that I can never forget, and that will definitely be traveling along with me through my lifetime. And I have a lot of stories to tell everyone, and I have a lot of stories to tell myself when I grow old. So the best option would be to never say no to anything, to take up all the experience as you can in this life, because we get to live only once. So thank you, and thanks. Over to you, Tabletop Master.
Lovely take on the topic, guest Nishan. So that sense, now we are done with the table topic. Just for the benefit of all the members, since we have to vote, I'll just summarize all the topics and the respective speakers. Toastmaster Nanda, a line is a dot which went for a walk. Toastmaster guest Dharani, taking a break can lead to breakthrough. Third topic, Kritika Raju, good friends don't let you do crazy things alone. Fourth one, a matrix type question, which was answered by DTM Nina ma'am, $10 million or 10 years back. Fifth question again was matrix type, which was attempted by guest Deepak. Fictional characters. Sixth topic was to Toastmaster Muskan. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Then guest Aravind attempted on the topic, with great power comes great responsibility. And last but not the least, if you never go, you will never know, by guest Nishan. So please vote for the person whom you felt give justice to the topic. And I thoroughly enjoyed this session. Over to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aishwarya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Puni. That was indeed an interesting, amazing, and a whimsical session it was. Thank you once again. Now it's time for the curtains to rise, as we're going to have a special education session by a 2-time finalist in the World Championship of Public Speaking, a TEDx speaker, a podcaster, an author, a featured player in the documentary film called Speak, and a person who believes in win anyway. And he is distinguished Toastmaster Rich Hopkins. He's going to take an education session based on humor. So with utmost honor, I welcome DTM Rich Hopkins. Speak Anyway, How to Craft and Deliver the Perfect Humorous Speech by DTM Rich Hopkins. Sir, I hand over all the controls to you to conduct the session.
You know what the funniest thing is this morning for me is if you are going to be giving a speech about humor and the first thing you hear at a meeting is that you can't talk about sex, religion, or politics, you might just be out of luck. Well, fortunately, there are a lot of other things you can talk about, and we're going to talk about some of those things today. Perhaps the second funniest thing about today's session is that it's called How to Craft and Deliver the Perfect Humorous Speech. And there is no such thing as the perfect humorous speech, because not everybody thinks everything is funny. How many times have you said something that you thought is funny that nobody laughed at? When was the last time you laughed at something and the person next to you didn't laugh at it at all? Humor is such a personal issue. It's something that we can't necessarily define for anybody but ourselves. There are some universal principles, but even using those universal principles can't guarantee that everything you use them on is going to create humor. And I've found this throughout my Toastmasters career. The International Speech Contest, not that difficult for me. Okay, 8 times I've won district over the last 20 years. Humorous contest, 1 time. Just one time. Now, I've gotten to district a couple of times, but only one time come out with that trophy. And I don't think it's because I'm not funny. I just think it's because there are other people who are funnier. So I've studied them, and I've figured a few things out for myself to figure out how to be able to help other people with humor. But the real key is, in terms of humor for me, why people come to me and ask about how they can be a funnier speaker, a more humorous speaker, is because the reason I win the international speech contest so often is because those speeches are filled with humor. It isn't necessarily about having a humorous speech, something that is funny from beginning to end, and that it's all about humor. It's that you use humor in any speech to augment it, to improve it, to help anchor the points that you're making. If you can get your audience to laugh, that is a moment in your speech when they are most ready to listen to you. Because by making them laugh, you have connected with them. They are now open. They've accepted you because they've laughed at something you've said. Hopefully it's something you wanted them to laugh at, granted, but they are ready to continue to hear from you, and they are more ready to learn from you at that moment than at any other. Finding humor in any speech is the challenge. What is funny? What is not funny? One of my keynote speeches talks about my experience with my leg. Growing up, I've got a birth defect. My left leg is atrophied. It's smaller than my right leg. And so before the age of 10 years old, I had 10 different surgeries just to enable me to be able to walk. I was told I should stay at home. I was in quarantine before quarantine was a thing. I shouldn't be out playing basketball. I shouldn't be testing myself. I shouldn't be pushing myself, or I was going to find myself in a wheelchair. So, of course, I did everything the opposite my doctor told me, and I was out there playing basketball. And when I got out of college, I got an outside sales job where I was constantly getting out of my car and going into office buildings and talking to people. But ultimately, my doctor was right. At 38 years old in 2006, I woke up one morning and I couldn't walk. I couldn't put any weight on my left ankle. And so I did what most people would do if they suddenly got up in the morning and couldn't walk. I called in sick. Problem is, I had to call in sick every day for a couple of weeks because my foot did not improve. And I quickly found out as I crawled through my house just how big a mess 6 kids can make when you've got a shag carpet. I finally got so frustrated, I actually did what I hated to do, and I made a doctor's appointment. And that doctor gave me a couple of choices. I could spend my life in a wheelchair. I could get a surgery that would probably not work longer than a year, or I could give up my left foot. Now that wasn't something I'd ever really thought of. It was not an option I had ever considered. So I chose the surgery, except that the more I thought about it, the more I talked to my wife and my friends and my family about it, the less it seemed like a realistic option. One day I met someone who had had the surgery that my doctor had recommended that would mean that I would give up my left foot. And he was walking well. He'd had his new foot for 15 years. And he said it had changed his life. It had given him more of an ability to get around, to be living the life he wanted to live, because he wasn't always in pain. So I chose that route. I chose to upgrade. As I tell my kids, or actually as my kids tell me, I now have a super deluxe robot leg. I just got a new one this week, actually. I got to tell you, there is nothing like that new foot smell. Now, if any of you have heard my world championship speech, or my attempt at a world championship speech in 2008, you've heard bits and pieces of that story. I tell it all the time. And it is a tough story. It's a serious story. But I worked very hard to find humor along the way. I'm able to sit here and see Nina still on my screen at the very top. And she laughed several times, which made me very, very happy. I don't know about the rest of you. Most of you just have your names up. But she laughed because I had put humor in there, talking about how it felt to crawl through carpet that my kids had messed up. Talking about how I had done the opposite of what my doctor had told me. Taking a look at my leg and thinking about it in a different perspective, that it wasn't a loss, but it was a gain. It was a super deluxe robot leg. Notice nowhere in that speech did I use the word amputation. It was an upgrade. And then the big topper at the end. There's nothing like that new foot smell. Taking something that is normally said in terms of that new car smell and shifting it to that new foot smell, which is kind of crazy anyway, because when we think about how feet smell, we don't tend to think feet smell very good. So you take something, you twist it, you turn it into something unexpected, use it at the right moment, and you can create a moment of great humor. When I used that line in Calgary in 2008, it was the biggest laugh I got for the day. So finding humor in the stories that you already have to tell is, to me, the best way, and in some ways the easiest way, to create a truly wonderful, humorous speech. You just have to be willing to look beyond the surface of your story. I mean, yeah, there are the facts. There's what's actually happened. But can you move away from the facts? Can you be up here looking down on it and seeing it in a new way so that you can give that story by thinking about it as if it were happening to somebody else? I mean, think about it. We laugh at other people all the time, and we laugh at tragic things. There's a term called Schadenfreude, which is essentially about how we laugh at tragic instances, be it physical humor where people trip over things and hurt themselves, or something terrible happens because they've come into work late, and the reason they came into work late is they had some terrible car accident where the car is destroyed, but they are fine. But the biggest problem is they're all worried about the fact that they now are having a bad hair day going into work late. We laugh at bad things when the outcome isn't necessarily ultimately bad. People fall down, people get hurt, people get up. Of course, nowadays, we laugh at things that are tragic even before they're no longer tragic. If anyone's on Facebook at any moment of the day, how many memes do we have about what it's like to wear a mask or having to socially distance, or the coronavirus in general? I mean, really, is a worldwide pandemic funny? Well, apparently to a lot of people it is, and they are desperately trying to find the humor in it just to keep themselves from falling into an incredible depression. I even get in trouble for saying worldwide pandemic because the word pandemic naturally means everywhere. Pan means everywhere. So worldwide pandemic is like saying ATM machine, when ATM literally ends with the word machine, as some of you bankers already know. So people are always looking to get you, and there's always humor in the things that you're doing if you're willing to look for it. There are different aspects, techniques that you can use. Schadenfreude, like I said, is one of them. One of the ultimate formulas is tragedy plus time equals humor. And depending on the tragedy, it takes longer for us to wait before we can joke about it. But tragedy plus time equals humor. Triads, using 3 different things in a row, usually 2 that are serious and 1 that is humorous. Now, I talk about going on a diet and the fact that I have to eat things that are good for me, which is no problem. Mostly, I mean, I really like, well, I don't really like anything. Now, what I really like on a diet is when I'm able to be on an Atkins type diet, where it's all protein, no carbs, and I'm allowed to eat essentially meat and salad. So I like the steak. I like the chicken. Kale, not so much. So there's your triad. You got 3 things. They're all pertinent to what you're talking about. In the States, you say the word kale, and most people think it's funny because most people can't stand kale. I don't know. In India, maybe kale is a wonderful thing, and everybody there likes it. That's another aspect of humor you have to think about, is who is your audience and what's funny to them, what isn't funny to them. The more you know them, the more you're going to be able to tailor your humor to them. So it's tough for me sitting in Denver, Colorado, to always be sure my humor is going to hit with an audience in Chennai. Am I saying it right? Is it Chennai or is it Chennai? Chennai. Got the thumbs up. So you don't always know. What I want to be able to do is interact with you guys and answer some questions. I'm about halfway through here. I've come up with some different tips and ideas, but trying to train people on humor when it's such an individual aspect can be ineffective. I mean, I can tell you to go buy my book on Amazon, go ahead and laugh. It's got all these techniques, but I wouldn't do that because I'm in Toastmasters and we're not supposed to sell anything. So please don't go buy my book on Amazon. Or if you do, you're not doing it because you heard it from me today. But maybe I can help you personally. If somebody's got something that they would like to ask a question about, feel free to unmute yourself and ask me. And ask me if something's funny, or ask me, talk to me about some of the challenges you've had in trying to create humor in a speech. Maybe I can even help you find humor in a story that you don't think you can find humor in. I hear somebody about to talk.
So can we have a small Q&A session?
I heard somebody.
Hello, sir?
Hello?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay. All right, people, the floor is open for a Q&A session. Let's take at least one to two questions and get it solved.
Rich, Nina here. Question, what you just referred to, can you give us an example of a joke that you thought was a joke but fell flat in one of the many audiences that you had across the world?
Oh, I block those out of my mind.
Okay.
Whenever something doesn't land well,
Right.
you go back and you delete it from your computer,
Okay.
and you forget about it.
Ah.
But it brings up an interesting thing. That is, what if something doesn't work? What do you do with it? Sometimes it didn't work with that audience.
Yeah,
And so you try it for a couple of different speeches, a couple of different times and different audiences, because it might have been just that audience that it didn't land with.
Exactly.
Typically, if it doesn't work 3 times, you're the problem. The joke's the problem and not the audience. So you could test it and keep trying different things. Other times you could say something maybe at the beginning of the speech that doesn't land well, and you're able to then refer to it later in the speech, and it will land very well because you're making fun of it to a point. Self-deprecating humor is a fantastic form of humor, because I talked about Schadenfreude before. Typically, we're laughing at other people. Self-deprecating humor, we're laughing at ourselves. And we are the safest target of humor. If we laugh at ourselves, it makes it okay for our audience to laugh. It's suddenly okay. And so you can get the quickest things. And I literally answered Nina's question with self-deprecating humor. The fact that I totally block out those bad lines.
Hello,
That's the
CTM
tail
Break.
from your speech. Yeah.
I have a question. Actually,
Yes.
I'm writing a script currently on humor, okay, for a humorous speech contest that is going to come. So this script has a little about I have a neighbor who has a mini zoo. So it is about this. It is about the mini zoo that my neighbor has. So I want to know, how do I start? Because
How do you start?
yeah.
Well, think about what is the message? Why are you talking to me about their mini zoo?
Okay.
No, I'm asking the question. Answer the question.
I'm talking to you about the mini zoo because I want everybody to know what kind of a neighbor we are having, because he is this gigantic 6-foot tall guy, and he's really hefty too, and he has the habit of having goats, cows, birds, turkeys, and all sorts of animals in his farm, and so it is about that.
Well, that is inherently funny, I would think, to a point.
Okay.
How do you make it funny to a lot of people? Well, we all have crazy neighbors, right? So, and for some people, we are their crazy neighbors. So you have to consider that as well.
Okay.
You've got a funny character, and having a funny character and making them funny without necessarily making fun of them. I mean, you get this giant guy who's giant tall and giant sideways. So you could say something like that, which isn't really offensive, but it's funny to think about.
Yeah.
And he's got this giant guy, tiny zoo. See, the first thing I thought when you thought about it, when you said tiny zoo, was, what, has he shrunk all the animals? Are they this tiny zoo, this teeny weeny zebra going across? A lot of different things you can do with that. And you could talk about him primarily, or you could make him one of several crazy neighbors, if you know of other crazy neighbors. You could talk about him and contrast him to you, and how does he view you? Maybe you're his crazy neighbor because of things that you do that you don't think are crazy, but he might think are crazy.
Right. True.
So think about contrasting, think about crazy characters, think about playing on words. What's a tiny zoo?
Okay.
So a lot of different things just in that little bit you told me that lends itself to humor.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Anybody else?
Rich, this is Ram. My name is Ram. I have a question. Yes. I have a question regarding the culture. I'm okay with my humor when I give humorous speech to my audience in India. But when I try to give speeches to people in USA, sometimes I feel it is funny, but they are staring at me. Sometimes I give a statement, I don't know why they are laughing. So do you have any tips for me to understand the culture behind identifying humor? Why some people are laughing, especially in the USA?
Absolutely. Culture is tough because there are a lot of different things at play when it comes to culture. Specifically, when I think about a USA audience listening to an Indian speaker, we want to be careful about what we laugh at because we don't want to laugh at something that isn't funny. And so we don't always identify that something was supposed to be funny and laugh at it. That can be a problem. Sometimes the way the accent sounds, I'm sure my accent sounds funny to you in various ways, and you're probably not wanting to laugh at certain things that I'm saying. I've been told I have an accent. As far as I'm concerned, I have no accent. But the Indian accent to an American can be funny just in hearing it because, unfortunately, in so much of our media, the Indian accent has been used as a punchline, as particularly in The Simpsons, which is a pretty major TV show out here that has recently caused a fair amount of controversy in the fact that the actor who used the Indian accent will no longer be the actor that used that Indian accent. They're going to bring in somebody else because he finally realized he was being incredibly offensive by imitating an Indian accent. So specifically, an Indian talking to an American, if you have a heavy accent, we find ourselves in a catch-22 where we're not sure if something's funny, or we think something sounds funny when it's not funny. And then you add in the Toastmasters aspect, where we spend half of our time analyzing what you're saying, and we sit in our seat thinking, oh, that was funny, but we don't actually laugh. We just write it down. And so you don't think you've been funny at all when you've been hilarious. I don't know if that helped at all, but I hope it did.
It helped. Thank you.
We had somebody else. We had two people about to talk at the same time, and you won, Ram. So who was who else was going?
It was me.
It was her. It was her. It was the young lady over there.
Yeah, thank you for recognizing me as a young lady. Yeah, so my question is, see, as like I'm also planning to participate in this humorous contest, and see, I have a series of events which I consider to be humorous. So my thought process is like, should I take only one or two incidents and then build upon that, or can I have more? So what is the limitation of the number of series? Because it should not be like a series of jokes which has been put forward. So it should be like a speech. So yeah.
Well, a series of stories is not really a series of jokes. A series of jokes would be more like a stand-up routine. And in particularly the old stand-up routines from like the 60s and 70s, which is kind of where that rule came into existence, where you'd hear somebody on, say, the Tonight Show here in America, and they'd just be coming up to do a 5-minute set of joke after joke after joke. Now, like I was telling the lady earlier, that maybe you just have two stories about your neighbor and yourself, or maybe you talk about several funny neighbor situations. It depends on the purpose of the stories as to how many you're using, because sometimes a lot of stories can add to the humor. Some stories don't need to be long. They don't need to take up a ton of time. They can take up 30 to 35 seconds, and that's still more than a one-liner. A one-liner is going to take 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
a story, 30 to 35. So you might have a lot of stories, and they can build on each other. And when you build with tone and you build with speed, you can increase the humor. I talk about my 6 kids in speeches, and trying to get through all 6 kids can be humorous in and of itself.
Yeah, I get it.
So it is very determinant on where the humor is in how many stories you're going to tell.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, DTM Rich.
You're welcome. Is it Rika or Rekha?
Rekha.
Rekha.
This, yeah, correct. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Who else?
Rich, our last question. So
right.
I am asking on behalf of many people in our cloud. Okay. So our humorous contest is actually coming up, and I am like many of us have not even started writing a speech because most of us have not been a part of humorous contest before, or we don't know if a script is there in our past which can be applied to a humorous contest. So I would just like for you to just generally address this question. Is it okay for anybody to participate and get a script? Is it easy to write a script? So on that point, I just want.
Well, for some people, it's easy to write a script. Some people love to write scripts. Other people can't stand to write scripts. When I coach somebody, I find out immediately what kind of speaker they are. And if they don't like to write scripts, that's what I recommend they do, is that they start writing their speeches, and vice versa. If you really don't like writing scripts, record the speech you are talking through your head and get it transcribed, and suddenly you'll have a script to work with. The key to humor in a lot of ways, and especially when you're in a 5 to 7 minute humorous speech contest, is precision. You don't want a lot of extra verbiage. You want to hit your humor points quickly and move from piece to piece to piece, because the pacing of your humor is crucial. If you're using a lot of humor or trying to set up your joke too much, you're really going to hurt how that humor is received. So I do strongly recommend, particularly for Toastmasters speeches in a contest, that you have a script. It doesn't mean you have to give the script verbatim, but that script is going to help you come up with plays on words, on specific phrases. It's going to help you look at how it all works together. And no, it's not going to be easy unless you are naturally a writing person. And even if you're somebody who loves to write, sometimes that person who loves to write writes in a way that can't be spoken well. And so they have to learn to write as they speak and not speak as they write. So definitely try to write a script, work hard at it, get other people to look at it. Go find a group of people that can really give you some feedback, people that you trust. And then remember, at the end of the day, you're the one on stage. You've got to own your speech. So be happy when you get up there with the speech that you're going to give, so that when you sit down, you don't have anybody else to blame but yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Rich.
Thank you so much, DTM Rich Hopkins, for taking at least, I believe, like 10 questions. Now, I request everyone to switch quickly, turn on your cameras. Let's take a group picture with DTM Rich Hopkins. Quickly, quickly. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, DTM Rich Hopkins, for conducting such a wonderful session. Chennai Toastmasters Club is indeed honored to have you as a keynote speaker. Thank you so much for that wonderful session. Hoping to see you in a future session. Thank you once again. Now, before we can move on to the next session, I request the host to launch the poll for the prepared speakers and for the TT speakers.
Ashwini, you can continue.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Now coming to the final part of the meeting, which is the evaluation session. And for this, I'd like to call upon our general evaluator, Toastmaster Guru Ayappan, to conduct this session.
Okay. Thank you, Aishwarya. Now it is time for us to come to the most important part of any Toastmasters meeting, that is evaluation section. So first I like to invite Toastmaster Jagadish, who will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Venuganthan. Toastmaster Jagadish is working as a purchaser in West India's Limited. So I invite Toastmaster Jagadish. Please say this yours. Please give an evaluation, your feedback to Venuganthan.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and special evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Venu. Actually, I'm playing a dual role today as a speech evaluator, and also I was playing a timer role as soon as Venu started his speech. Usually, Venu crosses his allotted time, but today, once in a blue moon, he was on time. Kudos to that. Toastmaster Venu, I have 3 commendation and a recommendation for you to take your speech to the next level. First commendation is title. Survive to fit to survive. Toastmaster Venu, your speech title was very apt and it was completely aligned with your script. I would say the speech title plays an important role like all the other elements of the speech, and very well done. And second commendation would be credibility. Whenever you are delivering any speech or giving any advice as an audience would think this way. Who is he? Is he well versed in this topic? Your whole speech is about the survival of the fittest, and you made us understand or feel the roadblocks which you undergone because of the language English. I must say the message is well reached. And third commendation is humor. Being an online session, it is very difficult to assess whether your humor is working or not. But I must say, you have had enough humor and it helped in engaging the audience. As you know, the humorous contest is on the way and you have a great chance. Coming to the recommendation part, I have only one recommendation for you, and that would be objective. Objective of an icebreaker speech is to introduce yourself to the audience. I know you for the past 2.5 years, so I know who is Venu, what's his interest, what's his hobbies, or about your family at least. But how about the ones who have joined the meeting for the first time today? You miss some important elements of an icebreaker speech, like introducing, telling your hobbies or interests or about your family. Would have been really great if you could have added that. To summarize the things, the story, you have got the good storytelling skills, the content was great, the structure was good. If you could work on the objective part, for sure, you could convert this good speech into a great speech. All the best for your future speeches. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you, Jagdish, for your wonderful feedback. Hope Venu will note and keep on improving his speeches. Now I invite Toastmaster Ranju to give evaluation on the speech given by Toastmaster Toastmaster I urge Ranju to provide his evaluation feedback.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Ranju, stage is yours.
Yeah. A very good evening to one and all. Today I'll be doing the evaluation for Toastmaster Cholan. He had done his speech on the topic, how to rob the world. He had done a research and presentation topic. And the objective was a well-researched and a well-organized and delivered speech. So the moment I heard about his topic, how to rob the world, I was wondering until his speech had begun. What is it going to be? It was like a suspense thriller. Was it a money heist plot where he's telling us how to rob a World Bank or a Reserve Bank? I was totally looking forward to his speech to understand what the thing is. And finally, he hit the nail on its head when he told it's about the debt trap. It's about how banks lend money to all of us, and loans are the real way how they rob the world. You want to rob the world? Start a bank. Very simple. Right, Cholan? Yeah. So, coming to the speech, I have 3 recommendations and 1 suggestion for him to improve. So, the recommendations, not 3 recommendations, 3 points which went well. Sorry. So, first point is the clarity of thought which we had in the speech and the amount of research and the structure which he had brought in the speech. So the moment the speech began, the one thing that we look forward in a research and presentation speaker is that, is he clear on what he's speaking? Is he qualified? Is he an expert? Has he done enough research so that we can rely on the facts that he's. So that was one thing which was very evident in Cholan's speech. He had researched his topic very well and he was on top of whatever he was saying. So that was one thing. And the structure was really great, which he had delivered. He started with a very warm thing about how we can rob the world and how we are getting robbed by the banks. And then he went on to illustrations in which he showed a small PPT where he showed the detailing of it and a few statistics. And finally, he had concluded with a solution. So very beautiful script that he has done. Kudos to you and your mentor in delivering this particular script. Now, second one is that one very good plus that you had in your speeches, it was a very complex thing that you had told, but in a very simplistic manner. So that is one very important quality which we have to get as a research and presentation speaker, is to deliver complex thing through a simple way, through simple statistics, which common people can understand, like all of us. So that was very beautifully done. So kudos to that as well. And third thing is that for any particular research and presentation, you have to give a right amount of numbers, not too much numbers, but you had given only the right amount, where you told 97% of the world debt trap is the debt money. So it was really, insight to all of us and not too much bugging us with so many numbers. So overall, a very well narrated speech. Now, one small recommendation, if I can give you, is that you took 6 minutes, 12 seconds for your speech. So I would say it's a research and presentation. So you have almost 1 minute and 15 seconds, if I may, to complete. So it's good to know about the problems in this world. There are so many problems in this world, like global warming, pollution, a lot of things which is actually outside of our, the ability to act for us. Many things we are not able to control, the global warming or many other things. So it's good about giving a research and presentation topic on that. But also, which I would recommend is if we can end it in a positive note, like few suggestions or few improvements which we can take on a personal front, like how not to fall into the debt trap. Next time a bank approaches you for a car loan, what are the things that you can check? Do you really need this loan? Or a few suggestions to the layman like us, so that we will be better prepared in the future, so that this 97% we can bring it down to a lesser amount. So that is one small suggestion from my end. Overall, a very beautifully narrated speech, and I really enjoyed your research and presentation through the structure and clarity and how good of an expert you are in this content. I would even recommend you giving an educational session on this for more clarity. So thank you, Cholan, for the opportunity, and looking forward to more of your speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster Guru.
Thank you, Ranju, for a wonderful evaluation. Hope Jolan would have noted and will keep on improving in his next speeches. Now it is time for me to introduce the next set of my evaluators, that is tag team evaluators. First, a timer. The timer role is done by Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana, please bring out your details, timer details taken by each and every speaker for the benefit of speakers and TT speakers to improve on the limitations. So please present your report, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guruyappan. I first need to apologize for the power cut I had, so I couldn't capture the time for the last speaker for Anju. But as far as this, prepared speeches and table topics has gone so far, almost everyone is qualified for the voting, and that's a good sign. Um, I will go to just quickly list the people, the speeches and the times it took. The prepared speeches by TM Venu was on time, that is 5 minutes 58 seconds. TM Cholan was 6 minutes 12 seconds. And coming to the table topics, TM Nanda has spoken for 1 minute 34 seconds. Guest Dharani 2 minutes 5 seconds. TM Kritika Raju 1 minute 20 seconds. DTM Nina Ma'am 1 minute 52 seconds. Deepak 1 minute 33 seconds. TM Muskan 1 minute 10 seconds. Arvind, the guest speaker, 2 minutes 16 seconds. Nishant took 1 minute 28 seconds. And the evaluation, so I couldn't follow for Jagdish, so I think he's qualified. And TM Ranju took 2 minutes 30 seconds. And it was an excellent speech from Rich Hopkins, and he was on time and completed exactly at 30 minutes with the Q&A session. Over to you, Guruvayapan.
Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful report, Timer Lakshminarayana. Now I request Toastmaster Sundaresan to submit his our counter report.
Okay, hello. I hope you're all able to hear me well. Okay, so I will start with the people who played roles like SAA, General Evaluator, Timer, and Indian Master. So first I will start with the role of SAA, Abhirami. So it was perfect. I didn't notice any or any pause while she was speaking. And second is the role of PO. I noticed 2 R's and 1 pause. And the third role, T-mod, done by Aishwarya. I noticed 2 R's and no pause and no other filler words. The general evaluator, Ruvaiyurappan, I noticed 2 R's and 1 pause. The timer, Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, I noticed 2 R's. TDM Master, I couldn't make a note. QJ roster. This was played by Mr. Satish. I noticed 3R. Now I come to the prepared speakers report. So first is Mr. Venu. So it was perfect speech. I didn't notice any or any pause or any other filler words. The second speaker was Mr. Cholan, and I noticed only 2 R's. The remaining thing was perfect. Now I come to the table topics report. First report is of Mr. Puneet. I noticed 8 R's and 1 for Nanda, it was perfect. I didn't notice any filler words. The third one was Mr. Dharani. I noticed 2 R's and 1 Kritika Raju, it was perfect. So I didn't notice any filler words or sounds. And next was Madam Nina. It was perfect. I didn't notice any filler words or any unwanted sound. And then it was TT speaker Mr. Deepak Thomas. I noticed 6 R's. And for Muskan, I noticed 4 R's, and for Mr. Arvind, I noticed 29 R, and for Mr. Nishant, I noticed 3 R's. So now I move to the evaluators part. Jeffries, I noticed 2 R's. For the second evaluator, I could hear the audio wells. Sorry, I don't have it. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Sundaresan. Now I request Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster Rekha to submit a grammarian report. Madam Rekha, the stage is yours.
Yeah, so allow me to share my screen. Just a second. Yeah, so today, just to remind the word of the day, the word of the day is whimsical. Even if you're not used today, you can use in your day-to-day conversation. So whimsical means funny, weird. The story about example, the story about the girl was whimsical, and the theme of the day was make it happen make it matter. So today the word of the day was used by Toastmaster Aishwarya, Toastmaster Venu, and DTM Nina John. And the theme of the day was used by Toastmaster of the day, other than the TMOD, Toastmaster Aishwarya. And regarding the good usages, there were few more good usages, but with the maximum ability of my listening skills, I have noted few. Toastmaster Aishwarya Rai as a Aishwarya as a TMOD, she used one of the good usage was unleash, which means to let happen or begin something powerful that once begun cannot be controlled. So I thought like adding meaning will help others as well. As a first speaker, Toastmaster Venu used the terms like journey of learning, cat caught your tongue, which means like when somebody is not talking, the other person may ask the question like why you are not talking in using this phrase. And as a second speaker, Toastmaster Cholan use few good usages. Few among them are bubble will burst, which means to disapprove, ruin or destroy someone's fantasy, delusion or misbelief. And then there was again he used a phrase which I couldn't capture it fully. And then Toastmaster Puneet as a TT master, he used a couple of more good usages. A couple of the good usages which I have noticed is enigmatic, which means difficult to interpret or to understand, mysterious. And the other word is profound, very great or intense, or to refer to a person as profound, we can use having or showing great knowledge or insight. This is the meaning. And as a TT speaker, DTM Nina John used a phrase like, this is a common phrase, but it is very nice to hear that, been there, done that. Educational speaker, DTM Rich Hopkins, there was a couple of more or a few more good usages, but I couldn't note it. One of the good like clarification is like pandemic itself means that it is prevailing across the world or across the country. So you need not mention worldwide pandemic, but pandemic itself means it's worldwide. So that was a good clarification which you have provided. Thank you for that. Evaluate, as a evaluator, Toastmaster Jagdishan mentioned a phrase like once in a blue moon, which means very rarely. Evaluate, as a evaluator, Toastmaster Ranju, again Ranju had few more good usages. I just was able to capture one, dead trap, that is something that is very dangerous. And I couldn't notice a very obvious not so good usages. So this is my report as a grammarian, and over to you, Toastmaster Guruvairappan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rekha. Thank you for your wonderful, detailed report with the meanings of the words used by speakers. Now it is time to present my report. Meeting started on time. So SSAS Sergeant at Arms did a wonderful job by introducing presiding officer of the day. And presiding officer day talked about how mentor helps in Toastmasters, how it helps the individual speakers, members to improve their skills, speaking and leadership skills. Then it was a theme of the day was introduced by Toastmaster of the day, Aishwarya. Then the brilliant game session was conducted brilliantly by Toastmaster Kristika Raju and Toastmaster Satish. It was a nice topics, nice to learn topics used by the world champion speakers in the speeches. So it was a wonderful done and brilliantly done game session. And kudos to both the speakers, were Toastmaster Venu and Toastmaster Cholan, for Toastmaster Cholan for giving a wonderful speeches. Then a topic session was brilliantly conducted by Toastmaster Puneet. Toastmaster Puneet did a wonderful job by connecting topics with the team of the day. Then the evaluators, both the evaluators did a fantastic job. But I hope the speakers note down the good points suggested by the evaluators and keep on improving other speeches. And the tag team also did a wonderful job, particularly Rekha, with the meaning of with providing the meaning of the good usages used by the speakers. Overall, it was a wonderful meeting so far. So now I hand over control to TMOD Aishwarya. Aishwarya, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Guruvayurappan, for your detailed report. Now, the polling for the best evaluator is popped up on your screen, so vote for the best evaluator. And you can vote for the best tag role player.
Aishwarya, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And for the best role player as well. So let me conclude the meeting. Be brave and challenge your current routine. Reflecting on what Tony Robbins said once. Change your story, change your life. Divorce the story of limitations and marry the story of truth. And everything changes. Don't settle for okay. You could be waking up every day, inspired and energized to limitless opportunities. Live your life to the fullest and create a life that you love the most. As Tony Robbins said, change your story, change your life. Divorce the story of limitation and marry the story of truth. On this note, I hand over the control back to presiding officer Toastmaster Guru Ayappan, and thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to host this wonderful meeting. Thank you. Back to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for conducting the meeting in a more brilliant and efficiently and effectively way. So now it is time to get the feedback from our guests. Some guests, please need feedback about today's meeting. Any guest?
Hi everyone, I am Deepak Thompson. I joined as a guest in last meeting as well as now today. So first thing, I see this is more effective, and I see the educational session is also more effective, and the way that entire program is conducted is really good. So now, and also I also appreciate Toastmaster Puneet and Toastmaster Aishwarya, who really done a very good job, and also Toastmaster Rekha. So I also understood that they have thought different. They also come up with a very good way of approach how they have done. So I also love this entire session, especially the table topics as well as the prepared speeches. So this is I'm looking forward to meet with you as a Toastmaster in coming days. Awesome.
DTM Rich Hopkins, please give us your valuable feedback about today's meeting.
I so appreciate being invited to your meeting. And as I mentioned at the top of the meeting, it turns out I had originally thought that I was going to be talking to your club next week. So when I was asked, when I was completing my challenge of getting to all the districts, I was thinking it was next week at some club. But some club was actually this club, and it was moved to this week. And I just went with it. I just rolled with the punch when Ranju Facebooked me and said, "Hey, tomorrow's your session." Okay, I'll be there. We'll get it done. This meeting I thought went very, very well. I've been to a lot of meetings. Obviously, I've been to all 124 districts, so I've been to a lot of meetings. You guys stuck to the times. You're very organized. You didn't have to really put anything together at the last minute, or if you did, I didn't notice it. Everybody was attentive and enthusiastic. It's just a very strong meeting, and I'm not surprised that this group apparently has produced a world champion, although perhaps it couldn't make it today. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak to your group, and I hope that it was valuable for you.
Thank you, sir. Now, one more feedback from Toastmaster Ram Mohan Nelluru. The world has seasoned Toastmaster from CTM. Your feedback, sir.
Thank you very much, Guru. One great thing about this club is I am always delighted to be part of this club. I have been in this club for more than 2 years and I had to go because of various reasons. One thing I can tell is the COVID brought me that opportunity to come back and attend this meeting. I am glad for this opportunity. And I am willing to take participation in this club as long as you meet online. If for that, to take the roles, if I have to join as a member, I am ready to join as a member. I can attend as long as you guys meet online. I'm glad I'm here today and I'll be seeing you in every meeting.
Thank you, Tom. So now it's time to announce the results of today's meeting. So best tag role player award goes to Toastmaster Rekha Grammarian. So best role player for the today's meeting is Toastmaster Punit, Table Topic Master. Best evaluator is Toastmaster Ranju. Best Table Topic Speaker award goes to Toastmaster DTM Neena John. And Best Prepared Speaker award goes to Toastmaster Venu Nilakanta. Congrats to all winners. And I adjourn the meeting 7:38 to next week. So now it's time for us informal